Ah, the Caribbean. The salty breeze, the roaring waves, and the sound of sea shanties echoing across the ocean. Welcome back, Assassins. Today, we are diving deep into Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced for the PlayStation 5. Let's be honest for a second. When Ubisoft announced they were giving the 2013 masterpiece a full current-gen facelift, the community held its breath. Was it just a lazy cash grab? Or did they actually fix the issues of the past while keeping the magic alive? Well, after spending over 20 hours sailing, looting, and stealthing my way through this upgraded West Indies, I finally have the answer if you're wondering whether this Resynced version is worth your time and money, or if it's just nostalgia playing tricks on us. You've come to the right place. Smash that subscribe button, grab your hidden blades, and let's set sail. First things first, let's talk about how this game looks and runs, because this is where the Resynced title earns its keep. The original game looked great for 2013, but the PS5 version is a whole different beast that we are finally getting a native 4K resolution at a locked 60 frames per second. And let me tell you, sailing through a tropical storm at 60 frames per second is absolutely breathtaking. The water physics have been completely overhauled. The waves look more dynamic, the foam crests realistically, and the reflection of the sun on the Caribbean Sea is spectacular, thanks to some subtle but effective implementation of ray tracing. Character models, especially Edward, Adewale, and Blackbeard, have received massive texture upgrades. You can actually see the fabric of Edward's robes and the weathering on his leather armor. The dense jungles of Havana and Kingston feel much more alive now, with thicker vegetation that reacts to the wind and your movement. But the biggest game changer? The loading times. Remember the endless loading screens whenever you transition from the open sea to a major city? Gone. Thanks to the PS5's SSD. Fast traveling or docking your ship takes literally 2 to 3 seconds. It keeps you immersed in the pirate fantasy without any momentum-killing interruptions. Now, how does it play? At its core, it's still the Black Flag you know and love. The naval combat remains the gold standard for the industry. It's fast, aggressive, and incredibly satisfying. Upgrading the Jackdaw from a fragile brig to a floating fortress feels just as rewarding as it did over a decade ago. However, Ubisoft didn't just port the game, they tweaked the gameplay. The parkour feels a bit snappier. Edward doesn't accidentally stick to random walls or tree branches as often as he used to. It's not a complete remake like AC Unity style, but it definitely feels smoother. The real star of the show here is the DualSense wireless controller support. Wow! The haptic feedback is incredibly well utilized. When you fire a full broadside of cannons, the controller rumbles violently in your hands, mimicking the shockwave. When you're caught in a storm, you can actually feel the tension of the ship's wheel through the adaptive triggers. Even walking through a crowded tavern or a quiet jungle gives you subtle vibrational cues that make the world feel tangible. It adds a layer of immersion that the original game simply couldn't achieve. Combat is still based on the classic counter and kill system. It's flashy, brutal, and makes you feel like an absolute badass. While some might find it a bit dated compared to the RPG trilogy of Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla, I found it incredibly refreshing. It's pure, old-school Assassin's Creed fun. Story-wise, Black Flag remains a high point for the franchise. Edward Kenway is easily one of the most charismatic protagonists ever created. Watching his journey from a selfish, greedy pirate chasing gold to a man understanding the true weight of the Assassin's Creed is still a masterclass in character development. The supporting cast is phenomenal, and the emotional beats hit just as hard today. But it's not all perfect. Since this is a Resynced remaster, and not a total reimagining, it inherits the flaws of 2013 game design. Yes, I am talking about the tailing missions. There are still way too many missions where you have to follow a target through a restricted area while staying in a blending circle. In 2026, these missions feel incredibly tedious and repetitive. Ubisoft did tweak the AI detection slightly to make them less frustrating, but the core design remains unchanged. If you hated tailing missions back then, you will still hate them now. In terms of value, Black Flag Resynced is a massive package. It includes the base game plus all previous DLCs, including Freedom Cry, where you play as Adewale. That DLC alone is worth a playthrough for its powerful story and unique machete-focused combat. You also get all the optional content, hunting legendary ships, exploring underwater shipwrecks with the diving bell, and hunting for hidden mines steely. You easily have 40 to 50 hours of high-quality content here. Now, a quick note for the hardcore fans. The multiplayer mode is gone. Ubisoft decided to cut the competitive multiplayer to focus entirely on perfecting the single-player experience. While some might miss it, honestly, the heart of Black Flag was always the single-player campaign, so it's not a deal-breaker for me. So what's the final verdict? Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced on PS5 is the definitive way to experience one of the greatest pirate games ever made that it bridges the gap between old-school nostalgia and modern hardware capabilities perfectly. The breathtaking 4K per 60 frames per second visuals, near-instant loading times, and brilliant dual-sense integration make the Caribbean feel brand new, even if the structural design of some missions shows its age. Whether you're a veteran looking to relive Edward Kenway's journey, or a newcomer who missed out on the golden age of the franchise, this version is a must-play. It proves that a great game remains a great game. No matter how many years passed, I'm giving Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced a solid 8.5 out of 10. What about you guys? Are you ready to step back onto the Jackdaw? Let me know your favorite sea shanty in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next review. Fair winds, captains.
A couple of dullards, but Addy will sharpen them.
There he is! You did good, Edward. Your Jackdaw is fully crewed, and the British have learned how we do things in Nassau.
We could have slipped the noose round their necks and given everyone a show. That bottle. Are you saving a trophy for yourself, Anne?
Aye, away with you. We're saving it for a real celebration.
Now you'll want to sail somewhere rich with plunder.
Have you heard of a place called the Observatory?
Aye. It's an old legend, like El Dorado or the Fountain of Youth.
What have you heard?
It's meant to be a temple or a tomb, hiding a treasure of some kind.
That's it. You see here.
Oh, rot. It's fairy stories you prefer to gold, is it?
It's worth more than gold, Thatch. 10,000 times above what we could pull off any Spanish ship.
Robbing the king to pay his porpoise is how we earn our keep here, lad. That ain't a fortune. It's a fantasy.